Alright, so I've been trying out a bunch of freestyle props today. Typically, I'm flying these HQ V1S 5x4.3x3, and I love them. They're my go-to freestyle prop. I can't say anything really bad about them. I like the way they feel. I like the thrust. The efficiency is pretty good, and they're pretty durable. So I've been trying the DAL 5051s lately. So very nice prop actually. They fly almost indistinguishably to the V1S for the most part. So I really had trouble like finding a preference between the two. At the same time, I like to try out other stuff. So I thought, hey, maybe these are going to be the next big thing for me. I don't know. So I've been flying them quite a bit. I bought a few sets of them and just been doing some hard flying on them. And what I kind of found is that there are some differences between the HQ and between the DAL. So it's something I only noticed after flying several packs as well, trying different kinds of stuff. So to keep it short, I find that the HQs, and I'm only talking about the differences, not the similarities. HQs, I find they have a little more immediacy to their punch, and they do feel just a little bit, tiny bit, you know, hairline crisper in the air, which I personally like. But having said that, these DALs seem to have a more linear throttle curve, so if you punch it, they don't necessarily respond as immediately, but they're nice, and they're very linear props. That's what I like about them. So they're very like linear, they're very smooth flying. So if you're into more like flowy kind of flying style, they're actually pretty good. I can't really say anything bad about them. If anything, the HQs seem to have just a little more like torque, like immediacy to the response. These DALs are also good. I can't fault them. So like, another difference would be maybe the durability. So they're both pretty durable. I find that the DALs though, they do oddly bend easier to a point where I can't fly them anymore. Like the HQs bend quite a bit, but they don't tend to bend here. They tend to bend, you know, they get chewed up sort of in the end of the prop, the far outer side of the blade. These guys seem to, for the most part, hold up really well, but when they do bend, they bend right up here near the hub, which seems to happen to me quite a bit. So I can bend them back, you can still fly on them, but that's where their major weak point seems to be. For the HQs, it seems to be sort of halfway out between the hub and maybe the end of the blade. Maybe, you know, halfway or a third of the way or something like that. That's where I usually bend them. For durability, I just give the edge to the HQs because I find I can walk away from crashes and keep flying them just a little bit more often than I can with the DALs. Minor difference. You know, efficiency is about the same, I think, as far as I can tell. You know, you probably get more variance from different lipos compared to the props themselves, and that's about it. So just for fun, I've now thrown on some, I've never tried this oddly, and I know a lot of dudes fly the DAL prop, the Cyclone. A lot of you guys fly the 5040. I'm trying the 5045C out just for freestyle. I normally use this as my race prop. So it'll be interesting to see how this does. So I'm just going to do a couple of flights with them now, like till they break or whatever. So without further ado, I'm going to give a fly to this guy and see how they do. I just did that flight on, actually I flew 2 packs because I was like, huh, it was interesting. So we got the spoiler. Okay, not a spoiler, but we've got some interesting results. Normally, when I fly freestyle, I swear by these HQ 5x4.3x3 V1S. I've been flying them for like a year, right, or whatever. Like they're my go-to prop. I'd marry them or something. I love them. They're great. Been trying out what would seem to be their closest competitor, which is actually not those guys, but those guys, which are these guys, the DAL T5051Cs. So I just flew a pack on these 5045Cs, which are actually my racing prop. Like I race on these and I love them for racing, and I've never considered them for freestyle. So I just flew on these things and I was kind of blown away by them because they fly really, 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 really well. They're really smooth, for one thing, which is like my big deal. They're smooth. I didn't notice any weird prop wash. I didn't notice them being really sluggish or anything like that. And of course, since they're a higher pitch prop, the power, the torque, they have so much torque. So I can do stuff with these that I just can't do with either of these 2 props. It just responds so well to like minute, very minute throttle inputs. I can just get the quad to like spins very so gently the other one way or the other. Great for recovering from dives and high altitude, great for stopping fast and zipping away in the opposite direction and stuff like that. I'm really surprised how well these flew for a freestyle prop. I'm pretty sure I'm getting a bit less flight time on them, which is not surprising. It's a more aggressive prop, right? No big deal. Not that much less though, but my quad's pretty highly tuned, and I don't even feel any like tuning problems or whatever with just sticking on these things, and my quad's not even tuned for these props at all. I didn't have to do anything there. Maybe that's normal, maybe not, I don't know. Wow is all I have to say. The reason these are in the bag is because the set that I flew is still on the quad, and I did crash, but I didn't damage them, so I thought, well, I'm going to leave them on the quad and keep flying. The moral of this little experiment is not that you should buy any of these props because I think this or that or whatever. The moral is keep an open mind and try different stuff and find out what works really well for you. You might be surprised. That's basically the takeaway here.